Definitely excited about this rival. It's one of college basketball's richest, most exciting rivals, one that happens over the holiday season. And it's etched in stone, the date or the time frame. It's unique in its own right in my life, simply because I played for a high school coach out of Chicago who coached many University of Illinois guys, and they would speak about this rivalry when I grew up, and my coach, George Stanton, would do the same. Obviously, moving forward, I was able to watch it from afar. Never obviously been a part of it, but ultimately understood the implications of it. It's one that's very rich, and it's one that's longstanding. Everyone talks about the UNC and Duke rival being one of college basketball best, but the ones that understand this one would definitely vote this one number one in their eyes and in their hearts. So I'm thankful to be a part of it, thankful to be the Witten family head men's basketball coach, and definitely excited about the game tomorrow.
Hey Dennis, the fact that your guys just went through the Kansas rivalry game and just that the kind of atmosphere, is that good training for maybe just getting the nerves out and being in a kind of similar situation?
Yeah, it's unique because most of those guys said the same thing that you just mentioned, in practice yesterday, saying that the atmosphere at Mizzou Arena, although it was a home game, it was something that was different. And we try each and every day to get better and learn our lessons and see what we can apply to the next one. And that's definitely something that we've talked about and discussed. But we also said it's still not going to equate to what was at Mizzou Arena. It's going to be electric. It's going to be half the arena orange and the other half black and gold. And it's going to be a game of runs. It's going to sometimes feel like you're on a away court. Sometimes it's going to feel like you're at home. And we just got to do our job and focus and dial in and grow. And we can't afford to help Illinois, put us in bad spots. And we got to kind of be a participant in our own rescue and make sure that we're doing the jobs that we need to do to execute the game plan.
Dennis, when you're going into a rivalry like this and you're new to it, what do you kind of do to get to know the rivalry, educate yourself on it going into a game like this?
I'm a college basketball savant. and rivalries are what's part of college athletics. It is something that makes it special, right? You can talk about NBA rivals, Lakers versus the Celtics, right? But those rivals aren't long lasting. Those are decade long or 5-year spans where teams become rivals based off the same path and meeting in success in the playoffs. This is something that generationally has been a part of the rivalry, right? It's not going anywhere and it is long lasting. So for me, it's one of those things. As a basketball savant, you look at, okay, the rival of Mizzou and Kansas, but also you look at the rival of Mizzou and Illinois, and it's something that has been tradition. My high school coach coached several Illinois guys that played at that program for Lou Henson. I grew up, playing AAU ball with Frank Williams, Sergio McClain, and those guys, but also I got a chance to get to know through our AAU and being the same age with Keon Doolin and Clarence Gilbert. So I've watched it from afar, and I'm excited to be a part of it. Again, that's something that attracted me to Mizzou in the first place. Yes, our administration, President Moon Choi, Desiree Reed Francois, our board of curators. But when we look at the coaching and the coaching tradition, starting with Norm Stewart, you look at those games, and those games exist that allows you to be a tradition-rich place like Mizzou.
And it's
Coach,
just how important was it to get that momentum at UCF and just roll that kind of into this rivalry?
Well, I'm excited about our guys responding. We were all there. We didn't play well against Kansas. And to be able to bounce back, that's what you want to see, how your team handle adversity, obstacles, and different things like that. We have an opportunity to play a well-coached Illinois team and a team that has done a great job. Brad Underwood, I respect him. He has done a great job throughout his career. He comes from Bob Huggins' tree. We've played him in the past, whether I was at Cal as an assistant or even Florida State. And several players on this roster whom I recruited. Terrence Shannon Jr., I recruited him. gave him his first scholarship offer from a high major school while I was at Florida State. So he's a kid that is very good. And I just think ultimately we have to understand the implications, but also what we have in front of us. It's an opportunity to play an NCAA tournament team. And that's what Illinois has traditionally been. It's allowing us to see who we are. And that's what most important. I want our guys to be able to play well. And sometimes two teams can play well. One team can become losers, another team winners. And I want to see us play well. That's the most important part, because we didn't play well against Kansas at all.
Coach Gates, this is Bill Pollock from Missouri Net.
How you doing,
You
Bill?
talk good. You talk about the rivalry for fans and savants, but going back 10, 15 years, players played in these rivalry games 3-4 times against the same team, and that kind of built that rivalry on the court. And it's not the same anymore. How do you try to build that up for players that are playing this game for the first time and maybe only one time?
That's a good question. You make a great point. College basketball is in transition right now, and you'll have some student athletes going to 3 different alumni weekends once they become 30, 40 years old. Okay. So when it comes down to rivals, they've been a part of it wherever their tradition was prior to putting on a jersey. And I'm just talking about not just my guys, but all over the country. On their side, they have freshmen, they have kids from Baylor, kids that are transferring in, going through the same thing. And ultimately it's where college basketball is at. But it's unbelievable. It's what makes college basketball special, to be able to be on the sidelines and in environments. The tradition doesn't leave. The tradition is with the fans, and the fan base is what makes a game like this special, because it's here in St. Louis in a great arena, and it's going to be packed out. I just hope all friends, family, fans are safe travels during this winter. The game is going on. I know there's a storm coming. There is bad weather, but be safe at the same time. Don't rush. Give enough time to get here in a safe manner. But be excited about the opportunity. And I think a lot of people will do just that. They'll plan ahead, get here safely, and be excited about this opportunity. But these young people, especially my guys, we're excited to be a part of it, but also continue the tradition that has been going on, and that's being a part of a game against a great institution.
Dennis, Illinois got the young guards, and they're talented, but they are young. When you have veteran guys like you do in the backcourt with Nick and Trey and Sean, is this the kind of game where maybe not have an advantage all the time, but you should have that experience advantage?
Well, the ball still has to go in. You still have to minimize your mistakes. You still have to execute a game plan in a atmosphere that's electric, right? Sometimes it takes a little bit longer for nerves to settle in for different players, and we just have to obviously fight through ours and get it settled and make sure we don't, make mistakes that'll cost us, and understand that Illinois is going to make a run. We have to be able to withstand runs, and they are a great shooting basketball team. We have to make the plays that we need to make. We have to rebound the basketball. Any coach that's from a Bob Huggins coaching tree is going to be elusive on the offensive glass, and we have to be able to block out. That's something that I think we hadn't done so well at in the past, but I was excited about where we were in our last game. I was excited about what we have been able to get better at, and we have to do it by committee.
Dennis, you talked a lot after the Kansas game just about the letdowns that you guys had on defense. Just where did you see that kind of change at UCF, and what are you hoping continues into this game?
I thought the energy, that's a great question. I thought our energy was outstanding, but that energy made us overrun our defensive positioning. And sometimes if you don't settle your nerves down, you're kind of going to go overboard and give a little bit too much. And sometimes that don't allow you to settle in, whether it's missed paint touches or overrunning defensive assignments and not stopping the ball, being afraid you're going to foul out. I think we have to just play with our instincts and not allow the moment to be too big for us, but more importantly, settle in and allow our energy to be on our side.
One last question for Coach.
Dennis, you mentioned a little bit the unique atmosphere. I mean, I don't know if there's anything like this game in a big arena like this, split half and half. The noise kind of moves oddly at times in this game because of that. What do you tell your guys about dealing with, you know, a truly one of its kind atmosphere?
Meditation and focus. And they've been on the road before. They've been in different situations, like you guys mentioned before. We were at Mizzou playing against Kansas, and that was a national championship team that we played. We have to settle in on our nerves and allow those things to allow us to make simple plays and not always hit home runs. And if we can maybe bunt, try to go for singles and doubles and not just try to hit grand slams along the way, it'll allow us to still play team basketball where we can get back to a positive assist to turnover ratio, where we can obviously be sound defensively. And that's the most important part, but it's definitely a great barometer for us because Illinois is an NCAA tournament team. They're at a different phase of their building than we are. And I want to see who we are tomorrow night.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys. MIZ.